Hey everybody, today is November 30th. I'm Mr. Sheridan and this is Natural Resources for today. So we're going to change up our schedule a little bit. We've been talking about tree identification and I am going to push back our deadline for the assignment that we started last week. Assignment number 40, what you are tasked to do was to go out and take a picture of the 4 different types of trees that we have been working with tree identification. So the 4 types of trees are a maple tree, an oak tree, a walnut tree, and a pine tree. You need to go find a type of each of those trees, take a picture of it, and then create a slide deck that shows the distinguishing characteristics and how you know that that tree is that tree. So especially since it's winter outside, we can't see leaves. I want to talk about something that will and go through this presentation a little bit that I found from the University of Maryland that does a pretty good job of teaching some of the basics of how to identify trees by their buds and by their branching pattern. So especially branching pattern, folks. We are going to talk a lot about this. This is your biggest clue on being able, it's the place that you should start every single time outside of deciding whether it's a deciduous or a coniferous tree, whether it's a conifer or a deciduous tree. That's pretty easy to tell. But after that, if you're dealing with a deciduous tree, you need to find out whether that tree has opposite or alternate budding. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. They're going to talk about types of leaves and that sort of thing. And we've discussed a lot of this in reference to the types of trees that we've already discussed in class. But this is the biggest thing that I want to discuss is the branching types and whether the buds or branches come out of these trees as alternate or opposite. There is a big difference. Or there is a third kind called whorled, but these are more bushes and shrubs that are going to have these types of trees. All of the types of trees that we are the 3 different types of trees that you're looking for, maple, oak, and walnut, they are all going to have either opposite or alternate budding or branching. So we need to know the difference between those and be able to identify them. So we're going to talk, they go through a couple of different things. Your walnut trees, if the leaves are on, this is a good example of a walnut leaf here. So you would be able to see this. Then it's going to talk about leaf margins. We've talked about those in the Tree Musketeer site does a good job of talking about the leaf margins on each types of those trees. This is what we need to remember today. Okay. And they have some other examples here of trees that have opposite branching. Okay. We're talking about trees that have opposite branching. So that look like this. There are 3 types of the main big deciduous trees that have opposite budding. They are maple trees, ash trees, and dogwood trees. So you can remember that by MAD, M-A-D. Maple, ash, and dogwood. Those are the ones that you need to remember that have opposite branching or opposite budding. So it's the first thing that you should look for when you're looking up at trees. You need to, and sometimes you got to find 4 or 5 branches to find a really good example of whether those buds are coming out opposite or alternate. But that's what you're looking for, is whether it looks like this, which is alternate. So in this case, this is going to be your oak tree and your walnut tree. Your maple tree is going to look like this. Maple, ash, and dogwoods are opposite branching or opposite budding. One of the most important things that we need to know. So as you're out looking at trees, please let me know if you have if you're really coming up with, if you're really struggling to find these 4 different types of trees, and I can find some examples for you, maybe around town that for those of you who don't have, ground or places to go and look for trees, that we can find for you. So I do want you to have that done. That needs to be done by the end of this week. If you have any questions or concerns about that, you need to make sure that you're asking those good questions. So I hope that everybody's having a great day. The other thing that I need to touch base with everyone about, I am moving up the deadline. We've talked all fall as we've been talking about the project that you've been working on as far as an ag topic. You've been gathering information. You should have an interview done. You should have a paragraph written. You should have an outline done for your either your speech or presentation by now. So you should be far enough along. What I'm going to do is that is going to be due as a summative assessment on December 18th, which is our last day of class before we break for the holidays. So I need everybody to understand that you need to, if you haven't been working on that, if you haven't started, if you don't have anything done, now's the time. You've got 3 weeks from now until December 18th. You need to be working on that. If you haven't conducted an interview, if you don't have an outline done, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help find someone for you to interview. I'm happy to help point you in the right direction if you still haven't picked a topic yet, but you've got to do this. You've got to reach out. And for after this week, we're going to spend all of our time in natural resources working on these topics so that the FFA kids that want to compete in contests, that they will be ready and have their presentation or speech completely done before their break so that they can spend that time memorizing. Or if you are just in class and you're just trying to get this done for class, then you're done and you don't have to worry. We won't have to worry about that after we get back from break. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know, but understand that you're going to have that speech or essay that is due on December 18th. So with that, I will see everybody tomorrow. Have a great day.